Hello, welcome to the metric conversion and factor labeling video series. This first one, we're just going to work with this metric prefix line here. It's a super handy tool to memorize if you're going to be doing conversions, and if we ever switch to the metric system, it will definitely be helpful. So we have this line of letters and slashes, and each one of these letters represents a prefix in the metric system. Those prefixes are the first part of a word. So capital M represents mega, but mega by itself doesn't mean anything. You have to put another word after this for it to have meaning. Megameter, megagram, megaliter. So this is just the prefix. K is one we're more familiar with, that's kilo. Oftentimes we say 5 kilos. What we're really meaning there is 5 kilograms. We, for some reason, abbreviate it to kilo, but kilo is just the prefix. Kilogram, kilometer, kiloliter. You have to, again, have something at the end of that word. H, hecta. D is deca, capital D. Okay, notice there's a couple of D's in this line. S represents standard. This is the only letter on the line that is not a prefix. And our standards are whatever you attach to the end of a prefix. So meter is a standard, and its symbol is M. But when we put meter with a prefix, kilometer would be KM. We put the two letters together. So anytime you have a unit that has two letters, you're looking for the first letter to find it in this line. If it only has one letter, it belongs in the standard. Other standards include gram and liter. Okay, there are others you might be familiar with: bytes, megabytes, kilobytes. Okay, but these are the three that we're going to be using most: meter for length, gram for mass, and liter for volume. Over here on this side we have our smaller units. So little d is deci, little c centi, little m milli, and this is a Greek letter M called mu, and it represents micro. Okay. There are other prefixes. We could keep going here. We're not going to make you memorize these, but if we add 2 more slashes, you can put a nano. 2 more slashes, you can put a pico. Sometimes I get those mixed up. 2 more slashes, femto. You can keep going. Okay, but we're again just going to stop with our micro and make it a little bit more symmetrical here for us. Now, how does this line work? You can use this to relate any two units in the metric system as long as they're in the same standard. So we couldn't relate grams to milliliters because grams are mass and milliliters are volume. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be using this line to relate two units that have the same standard. So if you wanted to work with milligrams and decagrams, and we want to know which one of the, or what is the relationship between those two. Well, these are in order from largest to smallest. Okay, so the first one that we come to, if we're looking at milla and deca, we're looking for those two letters. Deca is here, milli is here. The first one you come to is the bigger unit. That's going to get the 1. So 1 decagram has a certain number of milligrams in it. We have to figure that number out. The spacing on this line is based on the power of 10. So deca all the way to milli, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces over gets you to milli. That's a 1 with 4 zeros, 10,000, or 10 to the 4th milligrams. I'm going to be working with adding zeros, but you can also do this exponent if you prefer exponents. Okay. All right, I want you to pause the video in just a minute, and I want you to try to come up with relationships between kilometer and hectometer, and between centiliter and hectoliter. Pause the video. Go. Okay, these two, kilometer and hectometer, 1 kilometer, because it comes first in this line, so it's larger. 1 space over is 1 0, okay, or 10 to the power of 1 hectometers. So that's that relationship. Centiliter versus hectoliter. Okay, the hectoliter is going to get the 1 in this case because hecta comes first, and centi is all the way over here. So 1 hectoliter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10,000 centiliters. Now these slashes are important. They're not just there to look pretty, they count. There are no names for units between kilo and mega, but there are place values. So if we want to compare megagrams to kilograms, we have to count those slashes. So 1 megagram comes first, it's bigger, it gets the 1, equals, we count over, 1, 2, 3 to get to kilo. That's a 1 with 3 zeros, 1,000 kilograms.